Hello YouTube, it is your boy GZTV back with another video, and in this video we are going to be discussing all the NBA games from pretty much the first full slate of games. We had 12 games on tonight. Obviously I missed a little bit, I was doing homework. I went to like our college's basketball like preseason event. I did a couple things, but I hit some cardio, yada yada yada. But I think I watched enough basketball that I can talk pretty in depth with you guys. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to have to start with my Celtics playing the Knicks tonight. I'm only going to talk about close games, so if a team got their ass kicked, I don't really feel like talking about it. But Kristaps Porzingis makes tie-breaking three-pointer in a strong Celtics debut. He helps Boston beat the Knicks by 4. Kristaps Porzingis showed against his old team why his new one is an NBA Finals favorite. This team looked pretty damn good tonight. I don't think they looked great, but they looked pretty good. Making history for a Celtics debut. This is probably the best Celtics debut we have ever seen. Yeah. Some big shots by Quentin Grimes. The Knicks started to climb back. The Celtics were dominant for most of the game, and the Knicks started to climb back, yeah. Porzingis got a technical foul for flopping. That was interesting, and yeah. Knicks went on a couple runs and were able to kind of get back into the game. We can talk about the top performers. Jason Tatum, 34 points, 11 rebounds. He is definitely up there in the MVP race. He's got to be top 5 after this first game. I'm not trying to overreact, but yeah. It's crazy. We have 81 more of these Celtics games. It is wild. But Kristaps Porzingis, 30 points. He played absolutely phenomenal. You move on to the New York Knicks. You get a 14-point, 11-rebound performance for Julius Randle, 24 points for R.J. Barrett, who impressed, honestly, 40% from 3, 24 points from Emmanuel Quickley. I would say Mitchell Robinson just not being an offensive center is definitely a liability for this team. We can just move on to the next game. We have Hawks and Hornets, another really good game. I feel like this is a battle of two possible play-in matchup, I think. P.J. Washington scores 25. Rookie Brandon Miller provides a spark as the Hornets top the Hawks by 6 in the opener. Victor Wembanyama has commanded a lot of the headlines in the NBA offseason, but it's going to be really interesting to see the other rookies show up. Terry Rozier had some pretty smooth offense. Trae Young, as always, hitting from 3. Mark Williams getting some inside scores. Sadiq Bey making tough shots. Nick Richards playing pretty good defense. You look at the Atlanta Hawks, you get 15 points and 13 rebounds for Clint Capella. He shot 60%. You get a 23-point performance for Trae Young, 21 off the bench for Jalen Johnson, who shot 33% from 3. Gotta love Jalen Johnson coming out and having a good start to the season. They do kind of need a little bit more from DeAndre Hunter. They're going to need him to be damn near a 15 to 20-point scorer every night if they want to be a successful basketball team. But yeah, you can't be perfect. You can't ask for wins every time. But P.J. Washington, man, 25 points. He ended up shooting 67%, 13 points and 15 rebounds from Mark Williams. Great game there. LaMelo Ball had 15 points and 10 assists. Terry Rozier had 24 points. They just had all the essential pieces to win a game tonight. So shout out to the Hornets. Just kind of quickly getting through some games. Next we can talk about the Cavs and Nets game. Boy, what a game that was. The Nets actually looked pretty impressive. Donovan Mitchell scores 27 points as the Cavaliers beat the Nets by 1 in their season opener. Donovan Mitchell scored 10 of his 27 points in the fourth quarter, and yeah, Cavs were able to pick up the win. The Cavaliers' first road win in a season opener since 2000. That's a little bit of like a fun fact for you guys. Dropping defenders, hit that big game-winning 3. Nick Claxton, passing the ball, actually. Nick Claxton was actually playing really well. Passing the ball, blocking shots, having smooth offense. Just an all-around great game for him. And obviously Max Strus was just hitting bucket after bucket after bucket. But it's the Cavs that ended up winning the game. 27 points for Donovan Mitchell off of 40% three-point shooting. You get 27 points and 12 rebounds from their new pickup, by the way, Max Strus. Wow, I might have to pick him up in fantasy. I'm thinking about him or Cam Thomas. I don't know. That might be something. I know that's an overreaction because it's not like Max Strus is going to play like that every game, but my goodness. Looking at the Nets, you get a 20-point performance for Mikal Bridges, who shot 50%. You get a 36-point game for Cam Thomas and a 25 minutes where he shot 40% from 3. Yeah, those two played amazing. I will say Ben Simmons does everything right. He can rebound the ball and stuff, but he needs to be more of a factor on the offensive end. He probably should be putting up double-digit points a night. I don't think 4 points is really going to cut it here for this Nets team, and I don't want to just knock on him because it's like a thing to hate on him as a player, but yeah, man, he might need to pick it up moving forward. But yeah, as we get into the next game, Pistons and Heat. The Pistons were actually able to hold their own in this game. I was quite impressed. Heat wasted almost all of a 19-point lead, but they scrambled to hold off the Pistons by a point. So to open a new season, the Miami Heat revisited their go-to move from last season, winning close games, and I feel like that is going to be a trend for their team throughout the season. Hanging on at the buzzer. It's not great. Obviously, Tyler Hero hit some big shots. Cade Cunningham hit some big shots. Jaden Ivey was hitting tough shots. Oscar Thompson was doing some stuff for Detroit. And yeah, I really do like Detroit's young core. I think guys like Isaiah Stewart putting up 14 points, 14 rebounds, 67% from three. You get Jalen Duren, 17 points, 14 rebounds. You get Cade Cunningham, 30 points. Obviously, Oscar Thompson, as a rookie, has a lot to learn in the league, and he's going to have to learn to probably score a little bit more efficiently if the Pistons want to start winning games. I think that is definitely his issue. But yeah, obviously that'll take some time to learn. Kevin Love had 13 points and 10 rebounds. He shot 50% from three. Jimmy Butler put up 19 points, 13 rebounds. You get a 22-point game from Bam Adebayo. And that pretty much seals it on that game. As we move on into the next game, I want to talk about Timberwolves and Raptors. Really interesting, kind of more of a scrappier game compared to the others here. Yeah, man, Raptors and Timberwolves. Really interesting matchup here. Dennis Schroeder scores 22. OG Anunoby has 20 as the Raptors beat the Timberwolves by 3 in the season opener. Yeah, man. Toronto debut for Dennis Schroeder went pretty well. They got the dub. The Raptors gave new coach Darko Rajakovic a victory in his first game by beating the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, shout out to him. Coaching debut. Wasn't really aware of that, but man, OG Anunoby, I'm telling you guys, he is an underrated Raptor. He's just an underrated player in general. Like, if he's in fantasy on a waiver wire, you got to pick that man up. Pascal Siakam was hitting some big threes in the fourth. Scotty Barnes was hitting tough shots. OG Anunoby, tough at the rim shots. Cat hitting tough shots. Precious Achiuwa getting out on the break and getting some dunks and whatnot. Pretty good game here, I will say. Looking at the Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert, 15 points, 13 rebounds. He shot 50%. Karl Anthony Towns, 19 points, 10 rebounds. And you get Anthony Edwards with 26 points and 14 rebounds. I will say, Nickeil Alexander-Walker definitely struggled in this game. It would have been nice for him to kind of pick it up from there. Yeah, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is definitely going to be a factor for them. As OG Anunoby put up 20, you get 22 out of Dennis Schroeder, who shot 50% from three. Good stuff there. Not much more to say about that game. We have two more games I want to talk about. One of them is going to be the Pelicans and the Grizzlies. Actually, a really good game here. Even for not having Ja, I think the Grizzlies are still able to hold their own in the West. I think they can make a playoff push. But, I mean, this Pelicans team is not something to mess around with. They are a really solid squad. But C.J. McCollum and Zion Williamson lead the Pelicans past the Grizzlies by 7 in their home opener. Obviously C.J. McCollum and Zion both scoring the ball really well. Zion was able to grab some boards as well. Season opener for both teams, of course. Played great. Zion, just he's not like a streaky player, but he's such a momentum shifter in the NBA, He'll dunk on someone, then seconds later he'll catch a lob, and it's so awesome. I mean, he's such an entertaining player. It's showtime. He's just a showtime type of player. He gets tough shots. He makes athletic plays. Obviously, C.J. McCollum was shooting well from the three. Herbert Jones was hitting some tough shots. I mean, everything kind of went well for the Pelicans. There's not really much the Grizzlies could have done. I feel like there were definitely some bland spots on their offense, but man, this Pelicans team's good. 23 points out of Zion Williamson. You get 12 points and 12 rebounds out of Valanciunas, who shot 50% from three. You get 24 points out of C.J. McCollum, who shot 50%. I mean, yeah, this was just a really good Pelicans team, and obviously Ja Morant would help to be back, but that's not really... It's not like he's the end-all, be-all for their team. I mean, they still have guys like Xavier Tillman out here getting 17 points and 12 rebounds. And without like Ja being a scorer, we got Desmond Bane putting up 31 points and shooting 50% overall. It's another star that they need to lean on that actually needs to have a good game, and that's Jaren Jackson. I think Jaren Jackson definitely needs to step up as a scorer on this team if they want to win basketball games. I think it's just plain and simple. So yeah, there you have it. Mavs Spurs. This was probably the best game of the night. Probably one of my favorites to watch of the night. Such an entertaining game. Mavericks spoiled Victor Wembanyama's NBA debut. They beat the Spurs by 7 in the team's opener. Luka just doing it all, scoring the ball, rebounding the ball, passing the ball. He was just fantastic. Yeah, man, number 1 draft pick Victor Wembanyama, the first game of his NBA career, just can't help but lose the game because of, Luka just having a 33-point triple-double. And Luka and Jokic are definitely up there for MVP early after the first game. Very clutch dagger 3-pointers for Luka. Wemby ended up scoring 15 in his NBA debut. Didn't look as bad as if he would have just settled for that 6 points going into the fourth. Yeah, shout out to Wemby for kind of turning it around a little bit. It's crazy, man. Luka making defensive plays and tough shots, and Luka's just tough. There's nothing else you can say. But shout out to Kyrie Irving as well. He turned it up late in the game. He had 22 points. Luka Doncic had 33 points, 10 assists, 13 rebounds. You get Derek Lively with 16 points and 10 rebounds. That is an impressive looking rookie right there if I've ever seen one. You look at the San Antonio Spurs, you get 23 points from Devin Vassell, which sucks because, we need more people to do things. Like guys like Doug McDermott off the bench didn't score a single point. I think it would have helped if he would have got a little more involved with the offense. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Not a terrible debut by Victor Wembanyama, but definitely not a standout. Definitely not something we're really going to be talking about that much. Hopefully he can evolve his game from this. You can't be going out there getting 5 fouls before the fourth quarter. It just cannot happen. So, yeah, I'm out, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Just a quick little recap. Tomorrow there's only 2 games.